Hello and welcome back to my Let's Challenge of Final Fantasy XIII. In the last episode, we made our way through most decent chunk of Chapter 12. We made our way through the park section of Chapter 12. I think it's called Leviathan Park. It may well be because there's sort of like a tendency. What I quite like in this sort of chapter is that a lot of the areas within Eden itself are named after previous summons in previous Final Fantasy games. So stuff like Rama, Leviathan, stuff that maybe don't necessarily turn up inside this game, because obviously they have so many summons and yet they don't all turn up inside all the games. So we have some Humbaba here, two of them actually, which is worrying. We have to fight them at the same time. We do! Okay, two Humbaba. Interesting. This should be interesting. Just said interesting lots and lots and lots of times. Okay, we'll see how this goes. The key thing about this is going to be sort of keeping both of these, like, sort of essentially interested in me as the Sentinel. There we go, cool. Unfortunately, I think we're doing way too much damage at the moment. I'd love for them to start, you know, firing down water spells that do absolutely nothing. Gore does a lot of damage. Okay, so, well, we better stop that. Apologies for the earthing on screen. Way too often, frankly. Okay, so we got Protect, which is really important. He's going to be able to remove his debuffs and make my life living hell with So the problem here is that Hope is standing right next to me, which means he gets, essentially, you know, he's getting a lot of the hits from this guy, even though he shouldn't be. The aim here is to sort of, essentially, get him staggered, then quickly go into Bully to get on, probably in Fire and something else, at least. Get Deprotect and Deesh. Lovely. No, still this guy we want. Yeah, well done, Hope. You've paid attention. So, Lightning should take this guy out. She does indeed. Lovely. Is that a stagger? That can't be stagger. Why was he so close to staggering? I have no idea why this guy was so close to... Oh, random Insta-Chain. That'll be it. Because Lightning still has random Insta-Chain. So we actually get a very fortunate random Insta-Chain there, which really helps us out. Completely forgot about random Insta-Chain. So yeah, so random Insta-Chain, every single attack has a very small percentage chance of actually triggering instant stagger. Very, very handy when it works. It works infrequently enough to not make it completely overpowered. Okay, so we have a Juggernaut here. We saw one of these guys up in the Mahabara Subterra. But back then we had no chance against him because he does huge amounts of damage to us. And I mean huge amounts of damage to us. We see that Bar Fire is Hope's, you know, Hope's, whatchamacallit of choice, synergist buff. So these Juggernaut battles are still going to be pretty tough. Like, this guy is still nowhere near, like, you know, just, you know, essentially beaten, as it were. Slow is really important for us. If we can keep slow on. Unfortunately, we do not kill within the first stagger, which is frustrating. We will need to use a lot of Mystic Tower. Much like the Dreadnought that we saw obviously as a boss in Chapter 4, I believe, up in the Vile Peaks, this guy does have a move called Steam Clean. Steam Clean obviously removes all debuffs. And so with Bar Fire, he does not do nearly as much damage. Okay, 1300 damage. That's not too bad. That's manageable, essentially. I'm not sure if it would have taken me out from full as well, which is, you know, really good to know. But sort of as a scale from, like, how much stronger we are relative to where we were in, say, Chapter 11. Because obviously, you know, we met these guys in Chapter 11, and I was very much thinking, you know what, we are just not going to be able to deal with this. And I think I was right in saying that, because these guys do a lot of damage. A lot of damage. So we're going to lose our Bar Fires, but we should be able to kill this guy within this stagger. Which is exactly what we want. There we go, down goes the Juggernaut. Lovely. Okay, so is that a Juggernaut Humbaba battle together? Because if it is, yikes. If it's a Humbaba separately and then a Juggernaut separately, yeah, it is. Okay. I was like, if it's a Humbaba and a Juggernaut, that's going to be difficult. Having them separate is nowhere near as difficult. Okay, so we get stagger, as we would expect. And now we can start wailing on this guy. We are smacking that damage limit at 99,999. Another Humbaba down, nice and simple. If that's that means this Juggernaut is also staggerable. So preemptivable. It should be preemptivable. Come on, you have no interest in me. Exactly. Turn away. You're nice and safe. Now you're not. So, did we learn anything from last time? We haven't really. He has high damage dealing potential, fire-based attacks, physical attacks, and cases of removing status. So we're just going to try and get slow and curse on just because it makes sense. And then we'll go into Mystic Tower just for a brief turn of stagger raise. Before launching. I'll get rid of our buffs. That means my smite will do nowhere near as much damage. Still, we should get Scourge here, if not Smite. Indeed, we do. So that worked out far worse than last time, unfortunately. And Hope still seems completely, you know, unable to actually heal himself as opposed to everyone around him. Which is admirable in a silly, silly way. Lovely. We want Barfire, we want Protect. Barfire, I think, is slightly more important. If we can get slow on and then curse, that'll be good as well. this gives us Mystic Tower. If you want to just attack lightning, that is fine. Okay, so it looks pretty good from here on. It shouldn't be too... Yeah, lovely. We can protect ourselves from Wrecking Ball, get a nice stagger. Hope can give light, faith, and bravery. So we do what, 20-odd thousand. He is 300,000 or yeah, 304,000 health left. Lovely, there we go. Slow really doesn't matter. As long as we're getting the kills, as long as we're, you know, taking these guys out, then that's fine. Another battle with a couple of Humbaba. And then we'll have a cutscene, I believe. So as long as we get our buffs on, you know, our defensive buffs in particular, this shouldn't be too bad. I'd love slow. So we get curse instead, that's okay. Slow, 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 slow. So thankfully, Hope has put in fire on both me and lightning, which is great. Means that we'll be doing just that little bit more damage when time comes. This guy is going to stand up. There's almost an inevitability to that. So we might as well just stay here in Mystic Tower for a little while and just let him... We'll go to Strategic Warfare just for some more buffs and some strong damage. Like Lightning's doing a hell of a lot of damage right now. So we should get stagger in probably maybe 2 more. There we go, lovely. As long as he hasn't just gone for Sunder just then, we should be able to deliver a nice, solid blow. So you can see the added effect that like in Fire has on just those fire moves, like all of these. You can see in, those flame strikes are having huge sort of plumes of fire appear from them, and they don't do that unless unless we had in Fire on as well. So what's more, we can spam slow and curse, slow curse days. Try and get some slow on. Obviously he's going to remove all of his debuffs, so we'll now add ours back on as best as we can. Ouch. Okay, that's just mean. Why are you doing everything now? Renew. Thank you. He just decided he wanted to do literally every attack in the book straight away. We haven't seen that happen before, so glad we could deal with that. Got very close. Obviously, Hope did suffer, and this is again why we don't play as Hope. Playing as Hope just leaves you so much more vulnerable to, especially enemies like this who love to use, you know, big area of effect attacks. Yeah, he likes that. Eroder into Sunder is actually, like, seems to be one of his sort of standard moves, which is interesting. Still, we're going to get killed here, actually, with Ravs instead of with comms. There we go, lovely. Humbarbas go down. One, it doesn't matter, really doesn't matter. Head forward, and we have a cutscene. I think Bartandless is coming to mock us some more.
Falling apart already?
Could be. Maybe Orphan's having trouble holding things together with all this fighting going on.
The clamor of this conflict rouses the maker. Yeah? We were gonna stop this ruckus soon enough. Can you halt the cavalry's charge? Filled with righteousness, they will slaughter Orphan in the name of freedom. Your only recourse will be to deliver them death, swift and certain.
No. Unlike you, they'll listen to reason.
We will see about that. I shall savor the demise of Cocoon from atop the highest seat in all of Eden. You too should hurry along to the heart of our grand capital. Your loved ones miss you so. Come, let's see. Fulfill your destiny.
Your destiny. We'll decide our own destiny.
Right. Over Bartandalus' dead body.
So there we have it. Eden Hall is our, the place where we need to head to. And here we have, so that is an Adamant Tortoise, or Adamant Tortoise, one of the two. We can't defeat him right now. This is pretty much, unlike most enemies that we meet, in Chapter 11 and can now actually defeat. This guy, no, just no. He is way, way, way too powerful for us. So instead, we'll come over here and take on some more soldiers. A Sanctum Archangel and a Celebrant. Who does get to use Bazooka, which does hurt, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty, he's much like, I think we had Destroyers earlier, or previously. So he's much the same as those guys. There we go, lovely. Okay, cool. So now we can head over here and take on what I think is the same enemy formation. Or maybe that's not an Archangel, maybe that's a... Oh, no, still an Archangel, still a Celebrant. So we'll try and take out the Celebrant first this time. He's far more of a threat to us. Like, Bazooka still isn't like nearly dangerous enough for us to truly worry about it, but... So essentially a Celebrant, is a person who performs a rite, sort of following on from the very sort of religious, I guess the angels of like the archangels and the seraphs that we've seen. A Celebrant is essentially a person who performs a rite, especially a priest at Eucharist. I think that's how you pronounce it. So now, we have two, you now have the choice between two treasure spheres here in chapter 12. And essentially, one of them will, you can only choose one of these, and there's no way you can actually collect the other. So, yeah, you've just got to choose between the two. I'm just going to quickly locate or remind me what the two are. As you can see, this Adamantoise is actually really important because once you do a certain set of Seath missions later on in the game, the Adamantoise are completely wiped out and replaced with Longui and Chao Longui on the Archilta step. And so if you want to grind them, it becomes much harder because the Longui are far tougher customers than the Adamantoise by that stage in the game. So this guy is actually a common sort of repeat. You actually can come back to this stage once we get to the end of the game. You can actually return back here to this particular spot, and you can grind on this particular Adamantoise over and over again to try and get both his common drop, which is a platinum ingot for money, and his rare drop, which are the Trapezahedra, which you need in order to actually upgrade your weapons to the max. So, the items are, let's have a look, particle accelerators, which are actually pretty good, and the other one is probably like chocobo feathers potentially, or something like that. So I don't know which one's which. We'll just choose one. Again, this is the only treasure sphere that you can never get both of them. Essentially, this is the only time you actually have to choose. So we get a plush chocobo, which is actually the worst of the two items. We'd have much rather the other one. And that is why that treasure sphere is lost to us forever. We can never return to it, alas. So yeah, I think it has some. Yeah, so it has some particle accelerators, which are pretty powerful, you know, items used for obviously upgrading your equipment and stuff like that. Okay, so some individual Humbaba battles should not be too much trouble for us, hopefully. So we can have Hope pretty much buff us up. Once we get inside Eden Hall, I think we'll call this episode to an end, because we'll have a lot of things in the next episode once we get through Eden Hall. So we'll continue to try and put a wealth of debuffs onto him. And then we'll start getting in fire. He doesn't seem too susceptible to days, but it's certainly something that we can try and use on him. So alas, no chance to actually try and get the, you know, to actually max that out and try and kill him before the stand-up. I think if we wanted to do that, we'd probably want to sort of not put all those debuffs on him, because the debuffs obviously accelerate the damage that we do. So once he attacks us with either another Air Ogre or a Sunder, we will swap over to a debuff. Although we could literally just go Strategic Warfare, because Lightning is suitably powered up that she will be doing a bunch of damage to this guy anyway. Yeah, down goes the Humbaba. Lovely. Glad that it's only one at a time, because these battles are annoying otherwise. We can get a very nice little preemptive here, which... oh no, we can't. I was sure that was a preemptive, but there we go. I'm actually going to start spamming slow to begin with. Come on, I know this. You're weak to slow. Give me slow. Nope. There we go, finally. So slow on. We'll start upping that stagger for a while now. So, if we can get a round of a Relentless Assault in here, he might die. It's difficult to say. Yes, he will. Awesome. So that was just really nicely timed. We timed that Relentless Assault just before he was probably, you know, the trigger a point before he was about to, you know, obviously go into his stand-up phase and regain all of his health. So glad we could stop that. So, some Celebrants again. We'll just quake. Nope. Wait once more. And we do get the stagger on everyone, which is great. And there we go, lovely. So Celebrant's down. Archangel's down as well. Nice and quick. And another battle which looks very similar, probably just 2 of each now. Yeah, looks like it, just 2 of each. Yeah, so we'll just so obviously 2 bazookas is a little annoying, but still shouldn't be too bad for us. Especially if we can get Deprotect on. Or, sorry, Protect on, sorry, is what I meant to say, but there we go. So you can see these guys, the mana driver sooner is a little annoying. As Hope is going to heal himself. And now Lightning. Assuming not like everyone in his... Assuming all of these guys don't suddenly hit me with their strongest attacks, we should be safe from that as well. So we can just now go back into Relentless Assault, finish off these guys. Bang, bang. Down goes the Sanctum Archangel. Lovely. And that should leave our path clear forwards so that we can actually enter here and enter Eden Hall sort of like the inside, I guess. So here we are inside Eden Hall. We have some sort of character, or some NPCs. Nothing can hurt us here. You know, all sorts of tosh, essentially. Like how, you know, all of these guys obviously weren't watching the. Okay, fair enough. I mean, we've just been saving everyone, but as we get a Mistletoe, yeah, I'm assuming all of those guys obviously weren't then watching the race and saw everyone, you know, saw us dramatically enter and cause all the havoc that we did. You can see all of the sort of the walls of this have the Sanctum Falsi, you know, insignia on them.
This is the hot cocoon.
It's incredible.
That's where Eden sits, controlling all of the other cocoon falsi. It's also where we'll find Orphan, the battery that keeps Eden running.
Good to know. So what's the plan?
Your usual plan. Charge in through the front door. What else?
Right. Hey, where are you going? What is it? That's our backup.
Well, if it is, I don't think our backup is happy to see us.
So there we have it. We sort of now can start this next chapter. We have a tyrant behind us. We have a juggernaut ahead of us, and a lot more battles all the way down. You can see essentially the path that goes round and then down through the middle. You can see some soldiers through the middle. Some more battles, and then just over there, that's the Proudclad. Our final battle in chapter 12 is against the Proudclad, and we will be taking that on in the next episode. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of my Let's Challenge of Final Fantasy XIII, and hope you will join me on the next.